Everybody, it's Lynn from LynzCraftzDesignz. This is Sarnet translucent that I have rolled out on my thickest setting and folded it over. I'm going to be chopping it up. Then I'm going to add, this is the gray Sigwong metallic alcohol ink. It's a very dark gray. Alright, and then I don't know what this color is called, but it is a very dark gray holographic super fine glitter. Okay, and then this is just some leftover chopped up translucent with some gold mica powder. I did it years ago. I don't know what the color is. Alright, that being said, let's give it a start. I may actually, this is pearl, the same, I did it at the same time, that's why they're so flat. I may add a little bit of that. Alright. Sorry, I whacked my knuckle earlier and not good. I was breaking up some ice. I boiled some eggs and I needed a bowl of ice water. So I whacked it pretty hard on some really hard ice. Okay, now I'm probably not going to use all of this because I don't want to make a big old giant slab. But we'll see. Okay, I'm going to actually whack it up a little smaller. Alright. Now I'm going to go ahead and put some of this pearl. I believe it was probably Pearl X. A little bit less than poured out. Same thing with the gold. I'm not going to do all of it. Just a bit. Okay. Now this is just translucent, but this is translucent primo. And it is no longer chopped up very well. But I'm going to chop it up so we can use the bag. Now, I'm going to put all of this back in this bag. Actually, I'm going to transfer the translucent into this bag and use the bigger zipper bag. Okay, now I'm going to put some of the glitter in. Like I said, I don't know what color it is. Whoa, I didn't mean to put that much. Okay. Now pretend I didn't put that much. Shake this alcohol ink really well because it is a metallic. Again, I probably put too much. I'm actually going to add just a tiny bit more, and I may regret this. Okay, now, wow, that's really pretty. Alright, now I'm just going to put some liquid clay, some translucent liquid Sculpey. Liquid clay, if that's all you've got. Okay, I'm going to start with that much. However much that is. Okay, now we're going to give it a test to see how well it sticks together. Actually, pretty well. Alright, so I'm just going to pour this out and form it into a cube, and we're going to slice it. Okay, now before you go to form it into a block and slice it, be sure you've compacted it really well, but not so much that you start to distort those pieces, alright? time around. Alright. Now, we're just going to go for it. This is just my flexible tissue blade, clay blade, whatever you call it. I just call it a blade. This is probably a 20-year-old blade. And yes, I have others. Why I keep using this one, I couldn't explain. Alright, shave off the end. Ooh, that's pretty. Okay. Now today I've just got some, these are more unconventional shape bezels, but some squares. These are the ovals that you've seen me use many times. And these little teardrop shapes in the silver. Just trying to mix it up a bit. Okay, now you'll need your craft knife. I'm going to strategically place these. I say strategically. I'm just trying to avoid the seams. That's all I'm doing. I'm going to just take my roller. Okay, these two, I get a little too close to the rolled off edge of these ceramic tiles. And what I mean by that, they're just not as embedded as deep. We'll have to deal with that afterwards. Alright. Then just cut around them. Okay, now when you're using these little metal bezels, the one thing to keep in mind is it's metal, so it won't stick to the polymer clay. Okay, but I'm gonna bake them together just like this. Okay, you can put them on a piece of paper, whatever, but don't plunge them into an ice bath with the metal bezels on. So in other words, when you bake them and go to remove them from the tile, the metal's going to pop off anyway. So just don't plunge those metal bezels into the ice bath because it can cause them to discolor. Okay? 275 for 15 minutes. You can even do 30. Alright. Okay, I just let these cool down in the oven, and I'm going to leave them stuck to the tile for the moment. Before you UV resin them or gloss them or whatever you're going to do, look them over at every angle to make sure there's no polymer clay on the outside. Don't worry about around the edges, because that can be sanded away, just not on top. This is just my regular BS resin, which is one of the top rated ones off Amazon. I'm just gonna UV resin these. Now, keep in mind, if you take these off the tile before you UV resin them, they will not be stuck to the metal bezels. Okay? Take a tiny little silicone brush detail tool and pull that UV resin to the edges of that bezel. Okay, this one's going to need a bit more UV resin, but that's okay. Okay. I just put a bit more down the center. Don't want to put it anywhere else. That would encourage it to flow over the edge. Okay? Just like that. Okay, I wanted to show you this because this can happen. Right here, this looks like a little bit of overflow, but it's not. It's where the polymer clay didn't meet the bezel, and it had a tiny little hole that let the UV resin escape. So there's no UV resin on the metal because it went under. Alright, so if that happens to you, you can either put another coat of UV resin on now, which would be the smart thing to do, or you can just use that end to drill your hole, which will kind of disguise it. But in this case, I'm going to put another coat of UV resin on these two squares. Okay? But the other ones are ready to go. Alright, so I'll be back after I put the 2 coats of UV resin on these. All that is under the nail light. This is just an emery board. It came with one of the resin kits. I don't know which one, but I know you can buy packs of these on Amazon or wherever. From the back side, because at this point all you're wanting to sand is the polymer clay. Now on these two, I intentionally left them on the tile. Okay, that one popped right off, no problem. This one, on the other hand, now it will be stuck to the tile on this end. That's why I use my palette knife. Or you can use your clay blade, but your clay blade is not as stiff. Alright? So you can see there's a lot of UV resin that's spilled out. But that UV resin is not stuck to the bezel like you think it would be. Now, once again, I won't say I'm a professional with my craft knife, but I did used to be a graphic illustrator for a business company, so. Now here, I hope you can see this. Let's put it back on the top. Is what I was talking about. That polymer clay didn't quite meet with the bezel, and that's how the UV resin got under it. Okay. Created a little divot where the UV resin leaked out. Okay, once again, be careful when you're doing this because the craft knife can cut through, well, not through, but it can cut that bezel. Okay, for those of you who have seen this 1,000 times, feel free to fast forward. But for you that are new, I'm going to show putting together at least one of these pairs of earrings. Alright, now for these I've gotten, these are a spiral twisted link. Oh, I got chocolate brownie under my nail, sorry. And it was good. These are a shorter, non-twisted, although slightly bent and a booger to straighten out, a shorter link that's not twisted, whatever you want to call that. I've got some jump rings. For the gold, I took out 4 of the smaller and 4 of the larger, and yes, I've measured them before, and no, I don't remember what they are. So let's see. The smaller ones are a 5, possibly sold as a 4, because that's the way they usually come. And these are an 8. These larger ones are an 8. And the same thing for the silver. And some fish hooks, either the ones with the spiral and the bead. All of the findings, even the metal bezels, all came from Temu. I hear lots of talk about hypoallergenic, and hypoallergenic is just a term. That does not mean you won't be allergic to it. It just means it has less nickel for you to be allergic to. Okay? So let's put these little teardrops, raindrops, whatever you want to call them, together. I'm going to take this, I never start with the smaller ones. Let's start with the bigger ones. 2 pair of pliers. Twist. Do not pull them apart. Okay? Make sure it's in the hole first. Same thing in reverse. Twist to close. Okay. Now you'll see we've got these lovely, dangly earrings. Okay, then we'll take the smaller, twist. Okay. Now on this one I accidentally put the back facing me, so we're gonna put the hook on with the back facing me. Oh, that is pretty. It is so pretty. But I could see that I did not close that jump ring quite good enough. Alright, that's a test that I usually do. I'll try to stick my fingernail in the gap. If you can stick your fingernail in there, that can come apart. What you want to feel or hear is you want to feel that metal grinding on the other metal. That will let you know that it's really closed. Alright, there we go. Now, those are pretty. A little long for me. Like I've said before, I have the kind of earlobes that are attached. My earlobes don't dangle. So I don't normally wear super long dangles. Larger one. Link. Close. Okay, smaller one. When I grab my jump ring, I always make sure the opening is at the top. Alright. There we go. Those are two really pretty dangly earrings. Alright, I'm going to put together the gold ones and I'll be back. Okay, and there we go. We have 3 pair of earrings ready to go. It really turned out so good. The 2 different translucents, the Cernit and the Primo. Now you can't see really any of the gold mica powder from this direction, but it is there. And then the, I'm going to call it black diamond, that charcoal gray holographic. Really pretty. These are the super long dangles. Okay, and these are the shorter oval dangles. Alright. Now, these earring cards are just cardstock that I put some holes in because I'm out of business cards. Alright. I love them. Alright, 3 pair of earrings. These are just done, this is the marbling technique. Usually done with acrylic paint or acrylic inks. But this time we used alcohol ink and glitter, microfine glitter, for a different look. Alright, no silver leaf or anything like that, no gold leaf. simply glitter, and metallic alcohol inks. A little bit of pearl mica powder was on the chopped Primo translucent, and a little of the gold. You can't see the gold. Okay, sorry about that. Between my camera and my mouse, for some reason, this all becomes next to impossible. I want to thank y'all so much for watching. Hopefully I did explain some of the tips on what can go wrong and how to fix it, and doing the findings. I have had some people ask to show putting the findings on. I don't do it in every video, I realize that, because it would make the videos way too long. But it's just something you have to do every time. So, like everybody's video you watch, including this one. Bye for now.